This is Bedtime Stories, Grown-Up Edition, Collateral Damage, Part 11. Now, when we left off, Donovan showed out and got knocked out at the hands of 5'1" Regina, and he obliterated his budding relationship with Maribel. Eventually, he spoke with his therapist, got back on his regimen, and had that very much needed conversation with Anya. And there is still no sign of Veronica. On Friday night, Q and LJ hosted the karaoke night that they had to reschedule the Friday before because LJ, Miss Bernie, Donovan, and Veronica's aunt from Moline went to Louisiana. Donovan apologized for the tantrum he threw, but he still couldn't get himself to attend a karaoke night while his children were missing. Even the Queen Mother and Pops Andy were planning to attend, and they tried to encourage him to at least stop by for a little while and decompress, but he declined, which was completely understandable. Most parents would absolutely have a hard time laughing, joking, singing, and having a good time like nothing was wrong. But at the same time, Donovan truly had no reason to believe that his children weren't safe, and he had no way to know how long it would be before they found them. So it was probably a good idea for him to figure out how to balance living his life every day with looking for his children. But at the same time, maybe it was just too soon. I don't know. Either way it goes, the karaoke night was in full swing, and everybody was present, except Rennie, because she was getting mental health treatment, and Donovan, because he wasn't quite ready to experience joy in the midst of his sorrows. Q had even talked Woody into making an appearance, and True had flown in earlier in the week so that she could have that conversation with Stephanie. When Q went to introduce Woody and True, he said, "Oh, that's right. Y'all met at the hotel the day that we had to institutionalize Rennie." And he could tell from the look on his best friend's face that he just connected the dots and there was something else under the surface. Likewise, Stephanie knew her best friend, and while True was a hard read, quiet and mixed company, the member of their trio who everyone assumed was innocent, Stephanie knew she was a live wire. So when Woody and Q walked away, Stephanie said to True, "Girl, let me find out." True said, "Nigga, if I would have realized that he had family ties, I would have never." On the other side of the room, Q said, "What up, what?" Woody said, "Man, remember Tuesday when I told you I had a little too much to drink to drive? And I told you to come by the hotel or I could come by your office the next day?" Q said, "Yeah." Woody said, "Well, I had been sipping at the hotel bar and little mama over there was there too." Q said, "Word?" Woody said, "Word." Then Woody said, "I knew she looked familiar. I just couldn't remember from where though." Q said, "That's Steph and Rennie's best friend." Woody said, "Yeah, I remember now. But had I remembered that she was one of the three musketeers, I'd have took the drinks back to my room. All three of them broads ain't nothing but trouble." Q laughed and said, "She seemed like she might be the same one out the crew." Woody said, "Come on, man, you know looks can be deceiving. Don't forget, I was in that hotel room alone with Rennie for damn near 24 hours before Angela came and put the WWE smackdown on her. She was hot as fish grease and telling everybody business." Q said, "Rennie gonna be mad, especially when she found out you was pretending to be interested in her." Woody said, "Oh, she already know. And she cussed me up one side and down the damn other." Q laughed and Woody said, "Man, it's not funny. That little red bone over there, man, she's dangerous. Keep her away from me." Q just cracked up laughing, because at 6'3", he was looking up at Woody. And True was even shorter than Regina. Across the room, True said to Stephanie, "I'm about to dip, girl." Stephanie said, "Damn, already?" True said, "Now, Steph, you know I like to stick and move. I wasn't supposed to run into him at my people's house." Stephanie said, "You don't have to tell me what it's hidden for." True said, "I would if I could remember." Stephanie said, "Okay. Well, no matter what, we're going to have to talk tomorrow. But not here. I'm going to come by your hotel room." "Don't make no sense. You've been here for 3 days and we haven't been able to have a private conversation yet." True said, "Right. Your husband stay ear hustling. I'm going to go to the bar, have a couple drinks. So come by around 11, 12. Stephanie said, all right, see you then, girl. When True told everybody good night, Angela said, oh, Truey boo, leaving so soon? True said, yeah, sis, I think I feel a migraine coming on. As she walked out, Woody watched her leave, and then he said to Q, damn, she look good coming and going. Then Regina said on the karaoke microphone, all right, y'all, this song is dedicated to my man. Then she launched into the first verse of Tamia, We Still, and before she could get to the second verse, LJ was all over her, trying to convince her to go back with him to his place. And then it was Maribel's turn. Donovan had snuck into the kitchen, and he was pilfering some of the karaoke night snacks. When he heard Maribel's voice singing Rose Voices, Love Don't Live Here Anymore, he froze. He stood there, nibbling on some snacks and just listening. After a few moments, he walked back to his apartment while thinking to himself, I guess I'm on my own with this. They don't get it. Not even her. F it. And her. As he walked back to the apartment, he could still hear her sing. He slammed the back door in a passive-aggressive attempt to let her know that he heard every note. But she didn't hear him. Then he scrolled through his contacts, looking for a hot one he could ring up, and he couldn't even get the energy to do that. He'd gone from manic to depressed. After an hour or two, Woody went ahead and headed back to the hotel. There wasn't any alcohol at the festivities, and he wanted a drink. When he got to the hotel bar, who was sitting there? True, in the same seat she'd been in on Tuesday. He decided that there was no time like the present to go ahead and address the situation and make clear where he stood. He walked up to her and said, what's up, little mama? After sitting down, he said, I thought you had a headache. That lemon drop ain't gonna help. Not even looking up from her drink, True said, my head is fine. Woody said, let me find out you left because they ain't have no liquor. That's why I left too. True said, no, and looked him up and down. Woody said, wow. Listen, little mama, there was a lot going on that day. Plus, when you came to town for that little intervention, that was like a month ago. And if I remember correctly, you had on glasses, a messy bun, you was dressed down in a pair of sweats. True said, for an introduction that wasn't all that memorable, you sure remember a lot. Woody said, be easy, little mama. I just played it all back today. Don't take offense. True said, no offense taken, because you weren't all that memorable either. Tuesday, when you said that I looked familiar, I told you that you didn't. And I was telling the truth. I didn't remember meeting you. When Q made the connection today, I realized why. I thought you was the help. I ain't pay you no attention. Believe me, if I would have realized you were connected to the fam, I would have never gone there with you. Woody said, if I would have remembered where I knew you from, I wouldn't have even approached you. I don't where I eat. True said, oh, so you are one of Q's minions. Woody said, come on now. That's fam. And I know what you trying to do. It ain't gonna work. True said, and I know what you trying to do. And it ain't gonna work either. You ain't gotta let me down easy. I promise. There is no need, cause ain't nobody checking for you. Woody said, I was just trying not to hurt your feelings. And I was trying to explain. True cut him off and said, boy, I would have to have feelings for you to hurt them. I don't even know you. Hell, I don't even remember your name. I hope you had a good time, cause I can't even recall it. And for the record, I'm not trying to hurt your feelings either, cause I'd have to care about your feelings to do that. You have a good night, sir. And then she got up and walked away. When the bartender came over, she said, damn it, she didn't even settle up. Woody just shook his head and said, put it on my tab. The following day, when Stephanie came to True's hotel room, it was about 11:30, 11:45. Stephanie said, all right, sis, so I need to share some stuff with you. And then I need you to ride with me on something. True said, why do I get the feeling that we about to get in some ish and stay in it? Stephanie said, you know me too well. So check it. Then Stephanie proceeded to tell True all about her family. And True was all ears. Stephanie told her all about her grandmother having been a queenpin, how the death of her aunt caused her grandparents to move to Georgia from Puerto Rico with her father, that they changed their names from Lopez to Spencer, that even though they got out of the business, her father started his own, that he met Maria, had a baby with her, met her mother, got out of the business, married her mother, and had Angela. And then how Maria drugged him, had Missy, and started stalking her mother while her mother was pregnant with her. That her grandparents helped her mother relocate to North Carolina. That her parents co-parented. And then Maria sabotaged her father's car while he had Jesse and Missy in it, causing his death and Missy's on the very day that he was planning to take all 4 girls and leave town. When Stephanie got to the part about finding out that she had an uncle who was still in the life in Puerto Rico, and how LJ and Corey met said uncle and kept it from her, True said, "Oh, so that's why you stopped being friends with Corey when we was in college." Stephanie said, "Yeah, because he refused to tell me everything that he found out about the Lopez family and help me meet my Uncle Manny. But when Jesse poisoned my mother because she was trying to find Angela, his cousin Tanya called him and told him what was going on, gave him my contact information, and he showed up in North Carolina. He dropped everything to come support me. So I forgave him. We became friends again, and he used his federal contacts to do some digging on Jesse. That's how I found out where her mother lived and about her ex-boyfriend in Georgia. Now, he still knew things about my family that I didn't, but I knew it was just a matter of time before he told me. But he also knew all of my secrets. He knew about some dirt I had under my nails. And the whole situation brought us closer together. It also made it hard for me to get close to any other men, because I was always concerned that they was on some snake stuff, or I was going to share the wrong thing with the wrong person, or somehow they'd find out and my goose would be cooked, or that I was never going to find my family. So when he approached me about dating, I agreed. True said, he didn't really seem like your type, but he did seem like just what you needed. Stephanie said, and he was. And you and Rennie asked me 1,000 times if I was sure I wanted to marry a pastor. True said, and you kept saying you did, so I just let it be. But I knew there had to be something to it. Stephanie said, now don't get me wrong. I love Corey. I'm just not in love with him. And I don't know if I'm ever going to be comfortable being a first lady. What I do know is I'll never be satisfied just being a wife, mother, and a public relations manager. I am cool with those things being a front, though. True said, a front for what? Stephanie said, what would you say if I told you I killed somebody? If I told you that I committed premeditated murder against a person who didn't pose a threat against me or anybody that I loved, solely for the purposes of retaliation? True said, I would ask you, why in the hell are you telling me that? Why would you confess to a crime unnecessarily, knowing that loose lips sink ships? Now, I would never tell another living soul, but if I wasn't there when it happened, I don't see any good reason why I would need to know after the fact. Stephanie said, you wouldn't ask who I killed or why? True said, hell no.